I find it really sad that the man born into privilege now finds himself pleading for protection. It's an extraordinary paradox. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is not just a celebrity or a tabloid fixture. He's a man under threat, literal, specific threat from terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, a metaphorical threat from the right-wing media machinery, which seems pathologically determined to see him destroyed. This isn't just a story of royal estrangement, it's about the politicisation of security and the press's hostility to anyone who disrupts the status quo, and indeed the Home Office's hostility. We need to begin with a few bare facts. Since stepping down from royal duties in 2020, Harry's security, previously guaranteed by the state, was withdrawn. It was a move that on paper made bureaucratic sense. No royal duties, no royal security. But Harry offered to pay, and that was turned down as well. Life, and particularly a life as uniquely high risk as Harry's, doesn't conform neatly to policy memos. After all, his military service in Afghanistan and his very public profile has made him a symbolic enemy for jihadist groups. Indeed, we now know from court documents that Al-Qaeda specifically called for his assassination. Yet when he sought to reinstate taxpayer-funded protection or even pay for state-trained police protection privately, the government said no. And this is where the story turns ugly. The case was not treated as a serious security concern, but as a cultural war skirmish. Rather than empathy, the British media offered derision, particularly the right-wing outlets like the Mail, the Telegraph, the Spectator, who spun this as entitlement. Oh, and GB News, if we want to dignify that with the same link. They lambast him for being too royal when he wants protection, but not royal enough when he doesn't. He is simultaneously dismissed as self-pitying and attacked as dangerously outspoken. In truth, their grievance isn't really with Harry, it's with his refusal to play the silent, subservient role the media expects of its royals. What's more, the mechanisms used to deny him protection are deeply flawed. The so-called bespoke risk assessment applied to him, unlike any other public figure, is described by his legal team as inadequate, inappropriate and ineffective. Unlike others, Harry must give 30 days' notice to travel to his own homeland.
Professor Tim Wilson has once again shattered the silence, and it's time we all sit up and listen. Professor Wilson, a beacon of truth in an era of obfuscation, has thrown a spotlight on the royal family's treatment of Prince Harry. His recent revelations have peeled back the layers of politeness and protocol, unearthing a cruel and calculated game of politics. The Home Office's handling of Harry isn't just unjust, it's downright cruel, and it's high time we all acknowledged it. Professor Wilson has made it abundantly clear that this isn't about security, it's not about protocol. It's about a man being targeted and maligned for making choices that deviate from the traditional path. A man who chose love over duty, honesty over pretense, and a biracial woman over an antiquated notion of royalty. His observations have unveiled the extent of the politicization involved in the decisions about Prince Harry. The choices that were made were not in the interest of protection or protocol, but rather they were an orchestrated attempt to punish Harry for his nonconformity, for daring to choose a path less travelled. Professor Wilson's words are not just on point, they are a clarion call for change. He's taken the bull by the horns, calling out the systemic racism within the royal family, pointing to their outrage over Harry marrying Meghan as a significant reason for the ongoing hostility he continues to endure. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Harry. It's about every person who has ever been sidelined or attacked for breaking the mould, for standing by their convictions and their loved ones in the face of adversity. Let's not sugarcoat it. The truth is bitter, it's painful, but it's necessary. We owe it to ourselves and to Harry to confront this reality head-on. We need to recognize the courage it took for Professor Wilson to expose this truth, to stand against the tide and give voice to what many have been thinking but few have dared to say. This isn't about protocol or security, this is about a man being punished for choosing love, honesty and for marrying a biracial woman. The royal family's bigotry has been exposed, and Professor Wilson didn't shy away from calling it out. The esteemed Professor Wilson has made an unflinching assertion about the royal family's racist behaviour. It's an ugly truth, but one that we must confront. He has highlighted their outrage over Prince Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle, a biracial woman, as a major catalyst for the continued hostility that the prince faces. This hostility is not a simple family disagreement or a matter of royal protocol. It's a systemic issue deeply rooted in prejudice and discrimination. The royal family, a symbol of tradition and continuity, has shown itself to be intolerant of change, particularly when it comes to matters of race and love. Prince Harry chose love, he chose honesty, he chose to marry Meghan Markle. He chose to break the mold and stand by his wife, despite the heavy opposition he faced from his own family. But instead of being celebrated for his courage, he has been punished. His choices have led to his marginalization and mistreatment, a testament to the bigotry that persists within the royal family. This is not merely a royal scandal. This is a societal issue, a reflection of the deep-seated racism that still pervades our society. It's a stark reminder that even in the 21st century, interracial love is still not accepted by all. Professor Wilson's words serve as a wake-up call. He's peeled back the layers of royal protocol and tradition to expose the racism at the heart of the royal family. His analysis is sharp, his words are incisive, and his courage in speaking out against racism is commendable. This is the painful truth that many choose to deny. But not Professor Wilson. He's not sugarcoating it. He's speaking the truth, however uncomfortable it may be. His voice is a beacon of honesty in a sea of denial and deflection. We stand with Prince Harry. We stand with Professor Wilson. We stand against racism. The truth has been revealed, and it's time for change. Prince Harry has been a victim of cruelty, and it's time we acknowledge it. These are not just empty words, nor are they a mere exaggeration of the circumstances. Professor Tim Wilson has shed light on this unsettling reality, revealing how Prince Harry has been subjected to a level of cruelty that is both shocking and deeply unsettling. Imagine, if you will, a system that is designed to protect you. Now imagine that very same system not only failing you, but actively working against you. This is the reality that Prince Harry has had to grapple with. The very infrastructure that was meant to safeguard his interests instead turned its back on him, leaving him out in the cold. The cruelty that Prince Harry has had to endure is not a minor hiccup. It's not a simple misunderstanding. It's a calculated, deliberate act of aggression. He has been targeted, sidelined and attacked, not for any wrongdoing on his part, but for daring to break the mold, for daring to stand by his wife, for daring to choose love and honesty over tradition and pretense. It's a damning indictment of the system that should have stood by him, that should have supported him. Instead, it has chosen to punish him for his choices, for his bravery, for his unyielding commitment to his wife and to his own principles. This is the harsh reality that Professor Wilson has courageously brought to light. His words, blunt and unflinching, have painted a stark picture of the cruelty that has been inflicted upon Prince Harry. It's a truth that is uncomfortable to face, but it's a truth that we must confront if we are to stand in solidarity with Prince Harry. And so we stand. We stand with Prince Harry, a man who has been unjustly treated, who has been subjected to a level of cruelty that no one should have to endure. We stand with Professor Wilson, a beacon of truth in a sea of denial, for having the courage to expose this harsh reality. We stand with Harry, we stand with Professor Wilson for exposing this harsh reality. Professor Wilson's courage needs to be appreciated. He has spoken the truth, and for that, he deserves our gratitude. In a world that often shies away from uncomfortable truths, Professor Tim Wilson has proven himself to be a beacon of honesty. His refusal to mince words, his determination to shed light on the harsh realities, and his audacity to question the unjust have shown us the value of speaking up. His unwavering stand against the mistreatment of Prince Harry by his own family, the royals, is not just commendable, it's essential. The cruelty shown towards Harry isn't merely about protocol or security, but a punishment for choosing love, for choosing honesty, and for choosing to marry a biracial woman. Professor Wilson has boldly called out this harsh reality, and we mustn't let his words fall on deaf ears. The professor's words are not just sentences strung together, they are an outcry for justice, a call to action, a plea for empathy. They are words that carry weight, words that are backed by undeniable facts. Words that reveal the stark truth about the royal family's deeply ingrained racism and prejudice. Professor Wilson's courage in speaking out against the royal family's mistreatment of Prince Harry is a testament to his character. It's a testament to his commitment to truth, justice and equality. His bravery in standing up to power, in exposing the unfairness and in advocating for the downtrodden is something we should all aspire to emulate. In a world where silence is often mistaken for peace, voices like Professor Wilson's are crucial. They remind us that turning a blind eye to injustice is not an option. They encourage us to question, to probe, to challenge the status quo. They inspire us to be better, to do better. Thank you, Professor Wilson. We need more voices like yours. And to you, our viewers, remember to subscribe, like and share. Let's continue to expose the truth.